Many of us play the ocarina because we fell in love with the instrument through playing The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time. Over the 9.5 years I've been playing the ocarina, I have accumulated my fair portion of Zelda replicas. I now have 5 Ocarina of Time replicas, which is not something I expected to accumulate over these years. I thought I would stop at 1, maybe 2, and move forward with my life. But alas, here we are. We've already gone over the bad when it comes to those instruments, so now let's go over the great Ocarina of Time replicas. The 3 makers that I'll be discussing today are STL, Songbird, and Spencer. All of these ocarinas are tuned to the key of Alto C. They all have the same range aside from the double ocarina, and they all have more or less the same fingering pattern. Though Songbird has same-sided subholes, whereas Spencer and STL have split subholes. To compare these ocarinas, we'll be going over price points, aesthetic, and sound quality. Seeing as I've gradually accumulated these Ocarina of Time replicas, let's go over them in the order that I got them. Starting with the STL Ocarina of Time replica. Since I got this around 9 years ago, STL has come out with more varieties of the Ocarina of Time. They have a couple different shapes and a couple of different keys. This is their original Alto C Ocarina of Time, which on their website is listed as Tenor C, but that's just their nomenclature. It's an Alto C ocarina. The STL Ocarina of Time replica costs $50 on their website or $60 or $70 on Amazon. It has a nice blue glaze, has a little metallic band with a Triforce on it, and it comes with a neck strap. If you're a more experienced player, the neck strap can get in the way, but if you're just starting out and are worried about dropping your ceramic, expensive ocarina, you're better off keeping it on. Let's start with the scale. I have many fond memories with this ocarina. This was the 3rd one that I ever got, and the first ceramic ocarina I've ever owned. So this is honestly my point of comparison. If I like the ocarina better than this one, I'll consider it a great Ocarina of Time replica, and if I like the ocarina less than this one, it'll need to come strong in other categories. So to compare all these ocarinas, to really test their limits, we'll be playing the Song of Storm on all of them as well. So we'll start with the STL. The STL Ocarina of Time has medium breath pressure requirements, and you'll have to soften your breath at the highest notes, otherwise you might lose some tone. My cat is bothering me. He keeps jumping on the desk where I have a lot of expensive ocarinas. While I do have a lot of fond memories with this ocarina, the issues with the high notes are a bit difficult, so I would give this an 8 out of 10 for my personal rating. Though you can adapt to the high notes just by altering your breath pressure, it's just a personal preference of mine to prefer a higher breath pressure curve. Next up, we have the plastic 7-hole Ocarina of Time replica from Songbird. In terms of aesthetics, this is the closest look to the in-game ocarina you can possibly find. It has the same fingering pattern as a 6-hole pendant with some modifications, and these 2 holes are fake and only for aesthetic, but it does complete the look of the ocarina. Let's play the scale. I am rusty on a pendant. And here's Song of Storms on the 7-hole. I don't play pendants enough. That was hard. But that is not to say pendants are bad. I just have a preference for 12-hole. This one is actually a great pendant in that it can play the same range as a 12-hole. It just takes getting used to. This ocarina is not the easiest to play. You hold it like a transverse ocarina, but you play it like a pendant, and then there are some extra holes to worry about, and some alternate fingerings so that it has a full scale that a 12-hole would otherwise have. If you're looking to play the ocarina seriously, I would not recommend this instrument for most people, but if you're looking to have the ocarina as close to the game as possible, I would highly recommend this one. This one is, I believe, $30 on Amazon or Songbird's website. It's super durable. I bought it at a convention a long time ago, and I've brought it with me whenever I've done like a soft Link cosplay ever since. It's a nice little piece of art. Songbird also has this ocarina in ceramic, and it is much prettier, but similarly difficult to play. It is, again, a really cool instrument, it's just not for everyone. So the Songbird plastic 7-hole Ocarina of Time replica gets a 6.7 out of 10. It's great at what it does, but it's not my favorite. Next up, we have Songbird yet again. This is Songbird's Double Ocarina of Time. I bought this off of a friend a few years ago for a really good price, and it's a really cool instrument. It has all the function of a double ocarina and all the aesthetic of your Ocarina of Time replicas. So you see that there's many more holes. That's because it's 2 ocarinas in one, baby. I do enjoy this instrument a lot, but it takes a lot of getting used to play. It's not the most ergonomic, and there's not many assists for having your finger placement. So it's just something you have to get used to. I don't play it enough to be used to it, and I'm sure if you got used to it, this could be your one and only ocarina. So let's play it scale. I'm so happy I got that first take. Yes! So as I was saying, the ergonomics aren't great on this. It is easy to miss the holes unless you're really used to the instrument. This is not my main ocarina, so I have these issues, but if this were your main ocarina, you would easily get past these after a couple hours of practice. Now let's play the Song of Storms. Awesome. Because it's a double ocarina, you have so much control on your high notes because it's in the second chamber. I really like multi-chamber ocarinas. Personally, I would only play multi-chamber ocarinas if I were doing a solo performance, simply because they offer so much more range and control due to the multiple chambers. So this is a great ocarina. It's not my favorite, but if you can get used to it, I would rate this one like a 8.75 out of 10. Oddly specific ratings, am I right? Here we have Songbird's 12-hole Ocarina of Time replica in the key of C. This, however, is a one-of-a-kind variant using mother of pearl finish, which is why it's so shiny. I bought this one for a good price on a Labor Day sale, and I have not regretted it since. Both of Songbird's Ocarina of Time replicas do have actual metal bands around the mouthpiece, with some stone lay-in for the Triforce. Here's one, here's the other. Both of these instruments are seriously pretty, and the price point on Songbird's 12-hole Ocarina of Time is about $100. I can't actually find the price for the Songbird Double Ocarina of Time, but I believe it's around $200. Let's play the scale. And here's the Song of Storms. Momo came to visit as I finished that up. Kitty. This one has really, really low breath pressure, and I, as someone who prefers very high breath pressure, do have some issues playing this instrument. Oftentimes, if I'm playing at my usual breath pressure and I hit the high notes, like, it'll just totally tune out. And while this is, again, an issue of getting comfortable with your instrument, it's, again, not the right fit for me, personally. This instrument does have a great tone, an amazing aesthetic, and a good balance of that with its price point. So I can't not recommend it. I personally prefer the STL 12-hole Ocarina of Time a little bit more, but If I had both of them for the same amount of time, I would prefer this one. So this one gets an 8.1 out of 10, just barely beating the STL. You do really need low breath pressure with this one. It might be different for the normal models, but for at least the one-of-a-kind mother-of-pearl finish model, you do need exceedingly low breath pressure. It's not an objective problem, but I just have a strong personal preference for high breath pressure. Kitty butt. So, we've gone over my 1 STL Ocarina of Time replica and my 3 Songbird Ocarina of Time replicas. Last up, we'll have the one I got most recently from Spencer Ocarina. This one is the largest of the 12-hole ocarinas that I have, and it is also by far the prettiest. This one has a real metal plate as well as gold plating over the Triforce, so it is really high production quality. Here's the backside. If you notice on the sound hole in the middle, there's a little notch. That is actually an intentional design decision. So I'm gonna say right now, just before you even hear it, that this is my favorite of all my Ocarina of Time replicas, but it does have by far the highest price point at $200. So it is twice the price of the next level down, the Songbird 12-hole, which is again twice the price of the STL 12-hole. So ratings aside, if you're trying to get maximum Ocarina of value per dollar, this one may not be for you, but this is, if you don't care about your budget and just want the best Ocarina of Time replica you can possibly get, this is the one I recommend the most. Now let's play. In terms of sound, this one actually has a very unique tone compared to the others. It's the best way I can describe it is it sounds the most medieval of all the Ocarina of Time replicas I have. I can't put my finger on the exact way to describe it, but that's the best I can give. The expression of the ocarina highly matches your expression as a player, so the sound does respond very sensitively to changes you do in your breath, your vibrato, and all that. As such, I do not recommend this as a beginner ocarina. If you're learning how to play the ocarina and don't have control over your vibrato, your breath, and all that, then you might have issues with this ocarina. However, once you have control, I would say in terms of tone, sound quality, and all that, the Spencer 12-hole Ocarina of Time is the best 12-hole ocarina that I own. This kitty really wants to be on my desk. He's jumped up about 15 times while I've been filming this video. It's very cute and very annoying. I would give this ocarina a 10 out of 10 if it weren't for one little issue. When it comes to the highest notes on the ocarina, like the F at the top of your range, you do have to decrease your breath pressure just a little bit to have maximum clarity. It's not a common issue, and if you play on this ocarina regularly, you will absolutely not notice it. But as someone who just likes to blow hard to get as much expression and power into my sound, it was something for me to adapt to. While I would rate this a 10, I'll have to give it a 9.8. But that is still an amazing score. This is probably my favorite ocarina that I own, period, outside of my multi-chamber stuff. Those are my babies. I've only had this ocarina for a month or two, but this has become the ocarina that I leave within reach on my desk. I have a little shelf. I leave it in the box it came in. I just pull out the box and I can toot on the ocarina whenever I need a little zen in my life. So, what's the final verdict? And what do I recommend each ocarina for? If you want a great ocarina at a great price, get the STL replica. It's only $50. And it's a good instrument. I've had this one for 9 years and I've had very few issues with it. If you want one that has a little bit higher production quality and a little bit better sound, I'll have to recommend the Songbird 12-hole. It's $100, which is twice the price of the STL, but it has just that little bit of higher quality that sets it apart. If you're looking for something that's really inexpensive and looks just like the one from the game, I'd recommend getting the plastic 7-hole. And if you want one that looks like one from the game, but is very pretty, I'd get the $100 7-hole. If you're looking to get one instrument to use for a wider variety of performance repertoire, I would recommend getting the Songbird Ocarina of Time Double Ocarina, as it does have the range and function of a double ocarina while still having the Ocarina of Time aesthetic. And last, if you want the best Ocarina of Time replica money can buy, and you don't care that it costs $200, go for Spencer. Spencer's actually been a really good supporter of this channel, so first line of the description, that'll be a link to Spencer's Ocarina store. If I don't do that, then sue me. Don't sue me, please. But in the description, you will find a link to Spencer's Ocarina store. That'll be the top link of all the Ocarina links that I have in there. Go to his store, buy an Ocarina from him. He's really responsive. He custom makes to order. Only a few different factors. You can pick whether you want your subholes to be split or both on one side and all that. So he's a great guy. Highly recommend his instruments. And that's that. If you choose to buy an Ocarina of Time replica to add to your Ocarina collection, or to start your Ocarina collection, buy from a reputable source. I've already gone over the dangers of what happens when you buy from random vendors on Amazon who have really low prices, so low that you think this is too good to be true, because it is too good to be true. If you want a great Ocarina of Time replica, budget just a little bit more money. The STL replica only costs like $20 more than your Amazon replicas, so if you just want one, start here. But if money's not a concern, go Songbird or Spencer. You can't go wrong with either of them. Whether or not money is a concern, liking this video and subscribing to my channel is free. I hope this video has been enlightening to show you the good side of the Ocarina of Time replica market. I hope you all have a great day. Like, comment, and subscribe. And remember to keep on tootin'.